Chapter 192. Part 4 of 5. As you wish, Reason said. She reached over and poked me. We appeared in Tito's office. It was just him and a very pissed off looking Minerva. How could you let him just leave me? You heard him. He doesn't want anyone with skin in the game. Which, to be fair, does make sense. Again you take his side. What value is my loyalty to you, then? Are my wishes to be so casually swept aside? You know what dark deeds the dog father did to me. I do. And I know what you will do to him once you get your paws on him. If the dogs who faced him last year call him a cowardly genius, I do not think he will have the courage to face the demon who vexes me so. The little chihuahua shook his head. Where did you learn to speak? Minnie bared her teeth. Never mind. Those are not the only stories of Navarone, these days. His fame and reputation have grown. He will prevail. You will have revenge. Minnie snorted. The memory blinked and we suddenly stood in a cell with the dog father, Minerva, and Tito. It was obvious the dog father had been poorly treated already. And you had no faith in him. I still find it difficult to believe, Minerva slowly said, looking down on the criminal. I can scarcely believe my eyes. Yet his scent rings true, even with the muck and grime of the sewers he so recently called home. Navarone impresses once again. A part of me wonders if he knew of our request and captured the criminal before he came to us. I had him tailed. My scout followed him to his villa, where he left the dragon and pony. He continued alone to the sewers, where my scout lost the trail. Nav went alone, the little puppy quietly asked. So his reputation grows more and more, from leading slave revolts to taking down crime lords with ease. I would have him rewarded more for his part in our act, should you be willing. I would be, depending on your idea. Let us spread the word of his deeds in our homeland. Perhaps, should we ever meet again, he will feel so welcome that he will stay in your employ. Even with what we'll recover from this bastard's operations, I doubt I could afford him for much again. Proper skill does not come cheap, yet had I known it would take so little time, I would have made my offer much smaller. He agreed so quickly, without even trying to bargain, that I assumed I could have offered much lower. Well, now we just need to make this scum talk. Would you like to watch? I'm afraid I don't have the stomach for it, but do enjoy yourself. Pace him, but remember we're on a timer. Minerva grinned and approached the dog father with a pair of pliers. Thankfully, the memory blinked again. This time, Minerva and Tito stood in front of a row of cells. Each was filled with someone my teams captured. It seemed that Miguel and Jocasta stayed behind to help extract information and were having themselves a ball. Thankfully, the person they were working on was currently gagged. So it seems Navarone comes to our aid once more, Minerva said. And this time allows me to join him. What did you make of him? Tito asked. He seems a fairly decent leader, but I do question his fighting abilities. One of my troops had to save him from being run through. Many things can happen in the heat of battle, but it is true that he is rumored to have little skill. Most of his reputation comes from great deeds, not necessarily great battles. Well, he now has one more great deed under his belt. With this victory, we are ever closer to unraveling these awful criminal networks. Did you ask if he would join our cause and bring justice to those who have done so much harm? No. Nav has a child in Equestria. Returning to her is more important to him. Understandable. Perhaps I should offer to school him in the blade before he leaves. No. Return to seeking information. We must find as much as we can. Turn your mind from Navarone for now. We shall sing his praises upon our return, but we currently have work to do. As you command. The memory finally ended completely, kicking me back out. So how did I see those? I ask. I'm not particularly close to either of them. Satisfying Minerva's revenge was enough to earn her eternal gratitude, Pride said. All actions have consequences. One of the consequences of taking down the dog father was earning the loyalty of a powerful dog. And yet now I have a bounty in China, I said, crossing my arms. I can't help but wonder if spreading the fact that I took down the dog father was just a diversion from the fact that I did it for them. So what's the takeaway from this? You mean aside from all the good you did by taking down a powerful crime leader? Pride asked. Or the reputation you gained from it? Reason asked. Or the friends and enemies you earned? Fear asked. Yes. Or were those the takeaways? As your reputation grows, the number of those who would seek out your services expands as well, Pride said. And the services they will request often have to do with what they hear about you. Keep that in mind the next time you're presented the opportunity for an orgy. And of course, always keep in mind possible repercussions of actions, Fear said. You didn't really consider too much that the dog father's minions might seek vengeance. I figured it would be a quick little unimportant side quest with no real lasting ramifications, I replied with a shrug. In most games, not much really changes when you take down big bad guys. I figured it would be the same here. You once again underestimate yourself, Pride said. This deed of yours was great. It helped many. I guess so. I wish I had more concrete information. It would be interesting to see how much crime actually dropped because of this. I might look into it after I get out. Are you prepared for the next snippet? My guide asked. Yep. We appeared in a room with a pissed-off shining armor and a bored-looking Celestia. So just what is so important? Celestia sighed. Navarone is a murderer. Is that all? Celestia asked, rolling her eyes. What? I just watched Nav cut the throats of several defenseless people. Criminals, you mean, Celestia said. Criminals who attacked him and his friend. He murdered them when they were already defeated. Well, where were you and your guards to help him guard them? She asked. Was he just supposed to wait there until some pony came along? We were turning the corner as he did it. I called out but he just ignored me. And then he did, something that blinded me and my guards. Well, were you trying to attack him? I was trying to arrest him. Why are we even talking about this? He's a murderer. Give me permission to arrest him. Celestia finally rolled her eyes again. Then come stand next to me, she said. If we're going to be arresting some pony as important as Navarone, we need to make sure we get all the paperwork right. Good. They both walked over to a desk and Celestia started rifling around. After a few seconds, her horn lit up and something smacked Shiny in the back of the head. He instantly dropped and she floated him onto the desk. When she had him in place, she put her horn against his forehead and did a little memory meddling. Once his mind was properly secured, she set him back on his feet and healed him. His eyes fluttered and he gasped, looking around. What? Where am I? Oh dear, that blow to the head was a little worse than I thought, Celestia said, looming in closer. Are you sure you're all right? What blow? You may have lost a few hours. Navarone was attacked in the streets a few minutes ago. You showed up in time to help him but ended up getting hit on the head. How does it feel? It does kinda ache a little, he said, reaching up to prod the area where she hit him. Is Nav all right? He's perfectly fine. What we were talking about wasn't too important. Give me a moment and I'll have a servant escort you to your room. Take the rest of the night off and if you still feel bad in the morning, go see a doctor. I think I'm fine, princess. A little knock on the head won't stop me. I insist. I don't want Kadance nagging me for allowing her husband to continue working after he just had a memory loss. If you don't want to take the time to rest, take the time to enjoy the festival a little. He still seemed conflicted, but finally bowed. As you command, princess. I am feeling a little teleport lag. An early night will help. Good. Let's go find you a maid, then. That ended the memory. I snorted. Go fucking figure. She plays the doting mother while secretly acting the monstrous tyrant. I can only wonder how many of my own memories have been removed. Which is, of course, the takeaway, Fear said. Truly take a moment to think about what happened in that fight. Pinky led you in a dance that helped you kill all the bandits. How realistic is that? Not very, but realism takes a backseat to weird bullshit when Pinky's involved. That is a fair point, but it doesn't negate the takeaway, Reason said. There's no telling how many of your memories may have been edited by Celestia, Flo, or Aqua. Or any other number of people, I said. Apparently mind raping me is quite popular. And always traumatizing, Fear said with a giggle. Sure is. So do we have another memory? Several, Fear said. This time, she poked me. I actually appeared in Canterlot in front of an enraged Luna and a very scared Sunshine smiles. Why are you not by his side? Luna demanded. He was accosted in the streets and you were not there to protect him. Why you didn't order me to, princess? Why should I need to? Did I not assign you to guard Navarone? During the trip to Griffiths. Luna stared at him in silence for almost 10 full seconds before her head tilted. You were to guard him for life. I don't think he would appreciate that, princess. He might threaten to harm me again. I don't care what he wants. He will be protected. His princess commands it. Well, he's currently on another continent. Something easily and quickly rectified. I will give you 15 minutes to prepare. You are going to guard him. And if he refuses, I will give you a letter for my sister. She will either make him see sense or force him to deal with it. Okay. He waited a few more seconds, but she was just staring at him expectantly. He finally bowed and awkwardly left. Luna slammed the door behind him with magic and screamed in either rage or frustration. This human vexes me so. Would that I could just keep him here in my grasp. I could make him love me if I had only the time. She finally sighed and sagged a little before walking over to a desk to start a letter. That ended the little snippet. That was very telling, I said, crossing my arms. She doesn't care what I want, hey. Does that really come as a surprise? Reason asked. It should be obvious, at this point. Assuming she wasn't just speaking out of anger, Fear said with a shrug. We often only say in anger what we truly believe all the time, I said. At this point, there's no real way around it. Luna didn't love me, she just felt a pull to me. And thus, the takeaway, Reason said. Luna wanted you held safe and sound, preferably in her grasp. That's all she wanted and all she seemed to care about. So much for my old theory that my dick was just magic to the ponies. One doesn't exclude the other, Pride replied. Fair. So once again, Luna is crazy. What's up next? End of part 4.